Blessings and welcome forward to Reasons right here at the Tree of Life, you know. Center Jamaica, some say the center of the earth just like Jerusalem, or the center of terra firma that we know about. Because there's always the expansive, constantly expanding, constantly expanding. You understand me? So there's always more. Half of the story has never been told. And I'm Jerome Sage Butler, remembering and reminding you, that you're watching us on Celia Media, you know what I mean? That is S-E-A-L-A Media on YouTube, Facebook, and IG. Or you can also send me a personal message on Jerome Sage Butler, and that is on Facebook and IG, you know what I mean? So we can keep in touch. This current little offerings I'm going to give is basically surrounding the spiritual versus the physical world. Now, why we say versus? Because in a lot of sense to examine the topics to kind of make them vice versa, you know what I mean? Kind of seemingly juxtaposition them against each other, right? Or to kind of have a little bit of dialogue. Spiritual versus physical, or something spiritual versus material world. Now, one of the first things I want to say, spiritual is material, material is spiritual. Spiritual is physical, physical is spiritual. Before we go anywhere else. No, the spiritual world as it is given unto us is mixed up in a lot of what people call the spirited, spiritism, and all manner of isms, right? Some say the astral, some say the cosmic, or some say a combination of the astral, cosmic, and the physical planes, right? And that is engendering the spiritual. It's always seen as internal movements, internal stirrings, like things that are seen to be happening on the inside of yourself and seen to have little or no response in the physical being. As a matter of fact, the physical being usually seen as an enemy of the spiritual being. Like, oh my God, what are you doing with a spiritual? What, like, oh my God, what are you doing with a physical being? Don't you know we're all spiritual? You should be floating around in the middle of nowhere. You understand me? Oh my gosh, oh my God, is that really so? So spirituality has been taken way out of context. Everybody wants to live this spiritual existence where they think they can eat the most perfect and purest food. They can drink the most purest osmosis created water from the gods and this absolute Puritan lifestyle. They can float away up into the firmament. They have this notion of spiritual life that sometimes not bemuses me, but I'm thinking it's like an imagination. And then some people say, duh, it is imagination, really. If it's all imagination, I would like to see someone imagining the end of all these conflicts. Okay, since we're not at the end of all these conflicts, let us continue. So we can get past imagination, right? It ain't imagination. There's some serious stuff happening here that people perceive are all spiritual. They say it's all internal and nothing external. As a matter of fact, they say spiritual is practically imprisoning you on your inside or on the internal parts of your being and disregarding the outside portions of your being. So now physical is a dense matter now. And them say, boy, it's so dense now, it's carnal, it's putrid, it's lewd, you understand me? It's sexist, it's disrespectful, it's dishonorable. It cannot keep order or balance. You understand me? It is transient, it is ebb and flow. Many things to suggest that the physical is like, almost like a dead carcass I'm dragging. Oh, I got one foot in the grave, oh, I got one foot in the grave, oh, I got one foot in the grave, and I'm like, I'm going down. And that is how the physical is presented to us. Now when I say spiritually physically and physically spiritually, what I'm saying is that all of this is a vibrating energy field. And once the singular eye is awakened, pervading mind, body, and spirit, through the alignment of the divine Christ, one will see the full nature of the body. Like the mind, the logos in the house of the body, in the house of the God, the gods in the heavens, seated amongst your thoughts, is an understanding that if you say corporeal is incorporeal and incorporeal is corporeal, what you are doing is making matter matter, making energy matter. So physical is spiritual. All of this vibrates with hues, hum, sound, color, resonance, clear vocal resonance, clear mental resonance, clear emotional resonance, clear vibratory resonance, clear sexual resonance, clear mental breathing, sound, audibility, clear audience, clear audibility, clear sound resonance. Mind, body, spiritual. This is a spiritual entity. Though at times we become dense with the thoughts we hold in our mind by taking the things of the Most High and substituting them with things of those which are outside of the divine law. Those things which make you dense, those judgmental, loathsome, lustful behaviors, those selfish, degenerate behaviors that lead to degenerate and disassociated actions that take you away from the singular nature of the beauty of your divine awakening in Christ, that internal thought process that keeps a natural functionality, a harmonious functionality, and your vibratory energy is in clear resonance. No dissonance, clear resonance. And all the dissonant sounds that disturbs your harmony is again harmonized. Physical is spiritual. Get to understand it's how you think about it, activates it in your actualization, in your actuality, in your activities, in the actions that you activate. This is the actual fact. Spirit is physical, physical is spirit. When you get your mind in resonance with spirit and physical being in tune, then one action precipitates a divine action, precipitates a cosmic action. And Christ, being the truth, the light, and the way, now shows us how now we enter into the way, into the path, into the light, now become children of the light, now becomes disciples, apostles unto the word, fishers of men, women, and children, teachers unto masses. Our testimonies are our evidence of our interaction, the physical and the spiritual world in harmony. How Christ becomes the King in the heart, rising up to the mind, the Logos, in the Godhead, in the being, in the house of God. You and your 12 disciples, your 12 chakra portal points, honoring the singularness of Christ, taking on the full armor of God. Remember, with one activity, you create your existence. So let not be confused by a lower resonating stream. Get to a more clearer resonating stream, where physicalized actions and activities can then harmonize truly into the spiritualized activities, so they become one activity. And this now is where the Most High teaches us that we should never be unequally yoked, because in the union of the true self with the divine, beyond these physicalized rituals, that we're all familiar with all these rituals, this is not the ritual. Christ is the living sacrifice. All rituals are nailed to the cross. All rituals are put to end in His kingdom, in His ministry. He becomes a living sacrifice, the truth, the light, and the way. So many who say worshiping Christ would not lead unto spiritual awakening, I beg to differ. For the way, the truth, and the light is Yeshua. And that is the truth. When you enter onto the path, the truth becomes clear. I've seen it in many ways, many forms. The highest of which is when Yeshua rose, all this plane arose and follow if they chose to. And that is the truth. The spiritual world is actualized as your physical world. You can have a being full of holy divine raiments with a light of the divine, that when men, women, and children look upon you, they see that upon you is resting a part of the presence of the audience of God. And that is when the mind, physical and emotional, spiritual beings are in harmony. Spiritual is physical. Physical is spiritual. The physicality of your spirituality is how all your virtues, the adherence to truth, to love, to kindness, to forgiveness, to mercy, to patience, how these have actualized themselves as your physical behaviors. You know, you're responding to people in your physical environment, people in your work environment, in your home environment, people outside of your friendship zones and your friendship groups, both on your social media pages or in your consciousness groupings, right? This is beyond. You must begin to understand and become more in tune with that frequency which abounds all. That celestial frequency, if properly aligned with in your physicality, becomes the music of your being, the greatest dance of your creation, the greatest song of your experience, the greatest poem of your experiences. Physical is spiritual. Spiritual is physical. This is the union beyond carnality. Awake unto the singularity of your being, in the singularity of your mind's eye, arranged correctly, so the spiritual light force, the prana of divine justice, can enter your physical being and excite you into divine passion and expansive, expanding awareness and experiences. Continue to be the beautiful, amazing spiritual, physical gift you are to us, to yourself, and to your entire living cosmos, your living universe, your living environment. Glory to the Most High. Blessings be.